Imagine this. You're standing in a crowd of strangers. 100 voices buzz around you, people of all ages, all backgrounds, all on their own errands. Now here's the twist. Without even talking to each other, this crowd already knows the answer to a question that none of them could answer alone. Sounds like the start of a superhero movie, right? But this isn't fiction, it's real science. It's called the wisdom of the masses, or the wisdom of crowds. And it's the strange but beautiful fact that when you put enough independent minds together, their average answer is often shockingly accurate. Sometimes more accurate than the smartest person in the room. And here's the kicker. This isn't just about them, this is about you. By the time we're done here, you'll realize you're not just one tiny voice in the noise. You're an essential piece of the truth. Let's rewind. The year is 1906. Picture a dusty country fair in England. You've got livestock competitions, stalls selling hot meat pies, and the scent of hay and roasted chestnuts in the air. Amid all this is a very famous man, Sir Francis Galton. Now, Galton's not here for the food. He's a scientist, a statistician actually, and he's curious about something. There's a contest. Guess the weight of a big, healthy ox. Hundreds of fairgoers, farmers, townsfolk, random visitors line up to write down their guesses. The contest ends. Nobody nails it exactly. Some guesses are wildly low, others ridiculously high. And here's where Galton has his idea. He collects all 787 guesses, lines them up, and calculates their average. What he finds is the kind of thing that makes a scientist's monocle pop. The crowd's average guess, 1,197 pounds. The actual weight, 1,198. Off by just 1 pound. 1 pound. Not only did the crowd beat every single individual guess, they also beat the cattle experts. That day, Galton stumbled onto something counterintuitive. Sometimes the group is smarter than its smartest member. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, but that's just one fluke with a cow. Nope, this keeps happening. All over the world, in different situations, the same pattern repeats. Why? It comes down to how averages work. Each person brings a mix of knowledge, assumptions, and, let's be honest, random errors. One person might overshoot, another might undershoot. And when you average them all out, the errors cancel each other and the truth floats to the top like cream and fresh milk. Think of it like this. If you and I both throw darts blindfolded, we'll miss. But if we get 100 people to do it and then find the average position of all the darts, we'll probably hit the bullseye. Let's switch scenes. You've probably seen a big jar of jelly beans at a carnival or fundraiser, right? Guess the number, win the jar. Here's the funny part. One person's guess can be way off, but take 50 guesses, average them, and suddenly you're freakishly close to the real number. In one real experiment, a professor filled a jar with 850 beans. 56 students guessed. The average, 871. Only one student did better than that. In another test, a jar with 4,510 beans was guessed by 160 people. The average was almost perfect, 99.9% accurate. You see the theme? The crowd isn't guessing randomly. They're pulling bits of truth from their own experience. How much space beans take up, how big the jar looks, what they've seen before, and the errors balance out. Now, if you're still not convinced, let's head to primetime television. Remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Contestants had lifelines. One was, ask the audience. And here's the kicker. The audience was right about 91% of the time. Compare that to the phone a friend option, where the hand-picked expert friend only got it right about 65% of the time. That means a room full of everyday folks, some barely paying attention, collectively outperformed the so-called experts. If that doesn't make you want to trust the crowd a little more, I don't know what will. Here's the casually scientific explanation. The wisdom of the masses works best when three things happen. Diversity of opinion, different people, different backgrounds, different information, independence. Everyone makes their guess without being swayed by others. Aggregation. There's a way to combine everyone's input, usually by averaging. When those three are in place, you get magic. If any one of them is missing, say everyone copies one loud person's guess, the whole thing falls apart. That's when you get groupthink, bubbles, or panics. We've got to be honest here. The crowd isn't always wise. There are famous cases where groups spiral into the wrong answer. Ever heard of a stock market bubble? That's when everyone starts copying everyone else. Convinced prices can only go up. It works great until it crashes. The same happens with mass panics, misinformation online, or everyone rushing to buy the same thing because it's going viral. The takeaway? For the crowd to be wise, people need to think for themselves before their answers are pooled. Today, this principle powers some of the most useful tools on the internet, Wikipedia? That's millions of people contributing what they know. Sure, a single article can have errors, but taken as a whole, it's shockingly accurate compared to traditional encyclopedias. Prediction markets? These are systems where people bet on future events, elections, sports, even the weather. And over time, the average prediction from thousands of bettors beats most expert forecasters. Even Google search rankings use a version of this, not by asking people to guess, but by measuring which links the crowd clicks on and trusts. Here's the part where you realize you're in the story. You're not just an observer. You are part of this giant, invisible brain. Your unique take, even if you think it's silly or wrong, helps balance the whole. You cancel someone else's bias, and theirs cancels yours. Without you, the group loses a piece of the puzzle, and that's the real beauty. The wisdom of the masses isn't about erasing individuals, it's about combining them. In a world obsessed with lone geniuses, the wisdom of the masses reminds us that the best answers often come from all of us. Not because everyone's right, but because our mistakes, when averaged together, point to the truth. It's humbling, it's empowering, and it means that together we really can be smarter than the smartest. So the next time you're asked to take a guess, make a prediction, or share your opinion, remember, you matter. Because when we put our answers together, we have a way of getting it right. Together we're smarter. Together we're important. Together we find the answer.